So Bernie Sanders is back. I miss Bernie, man. Uh, I miss him. I'm talking like this about the working class. I miss that dude. Like he's been around like for so long. Like he's been around like every election cycle since 2016. But the Harris campaign didn't use Bernie as a surrogate because Bernie would have said something that the Harris campaign probably didn't believe or endorse in. Because the Harris campaign, I think, is more business Dems than working class Dems, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you make that move and you say like you're embracing Liz Cheney and you're doing all these things to kind of embrace that type of vote, you're going to lose something. And one of the things that they lost is working class people. You know, Kamala did really well as far as like, I mean, she got she got over 200 some odd delegates, I think. And voting wise, yeah, she lost, but from the popular vote, it wasn't like she was like blown out. Um, so she probably did get quite a few working class people, but there's quite a few working class people that broke for Trump. And I think the working class vote is up for grabs. I don't think the working class voter um, is connected to either party. Like once upon a time, for forever, the Dems could depend on working class people, and I knew when the auto workers at first didn't say they're not going to endorse anybody. I was like, oh, that's not good. When the head of the auto workers was like, we don't know. It's just like, wait, that's not good. That's not good. Mm-mm. Because that means you're starting to lose the working class. So how did they end up losing the working class? I don't think. I think the biggest thing with the Dems moving forward is that they got to start listening to people's concerns. They say they do, but I think people are getting wiser to the fact like you guys aren't listening, and we're going to prove a point. Like there's a lot of in black media, new black media, they've been saying that. They've been saying forever like black voters should not automatically vote Democratic. They should withhold their vote unless the Democrats say like, hey, we're going to, as a black voter, I'll give you my vote, but what are we going to get in return? And I think the working class voting bloc is becoming that same way. It was like, listen, we're up for grabs. Republican Democrats, we're up the grass. But what are you going to give us? How are you going to help us out? Because when you go to the store, like everything's high. Like recently, I mean, they made some cuts during the summer at Target and a lot of these other stores, but it's still high. Inflation's bad. Wages has gone up some, but when you I think I saw this stat between like 2021 and 2023, how everything has increased since then. At first, you understood it because we had the pandemic and stores were closed. So that first year, after the pandemic, kind of figure, okay, things are a little bit higher because they're making their money back. But it seems like the stores just kept on jacking the price. I mean, they kind of plateaued like in the summertime when McDonald's and all these places rolled back their high price value meals. That was a sign like people are saying, no, we're not paying all this money for this stuff. So stores, fast food, they kind of roll back, but slowly but surely they're going to creep up. Like I remember like the dollar store. I love the dollar store. The Dollar Tree is like my favorite place because everything was a dollar. Everything was a dollar. But during the pandemic, I think the Dollar Tree and some of these places realized, oh, we have a lot of people coming here. Like people who actually are making pretty good money are actually coming here paying everything for a dollar. And the powers that be change things around. So now it's no longer, when you go to the Dollar Tree, it's no longer everything for a dollar. It's now like, well, it's $1.25, and we have things that's cost through $2, $3, $4, $5. Because now they saw the capitalism part of it, even though there was really no need for that. Because people would have just kept on paying for a dollar and stuff. Now I know the price of goods has gone up and they have to make money as a business, so I totally understand that. But when you take something like that away, there's some people who's living paycheck to paycheck, and if you go to a place where everything is a dollar, it's very cost effective for them. But no one's really looking out for the working class anymore. So Bernie being out here, he said, it should come to no great surprise that the Democratic Party, which has abandoned the working class people, would find that the working class has abandoned them while the Democratic leadership defends the status quo. The American people are angry and want change and the right. And he's absolutely true. Like Jamie Harrison is the head of the DNC. I don't know. And again, I haven't focused on Jamie Harrison because I've never seen Jamie Harrison anywhere. Usually in a presidential election, you see the head of DNC all over the place. I haven't seen him. But it's like, what was his plan? What is his plan for the working class people? Did he have a plan for the working class people? What does he say to a Bernie Sanders about this? I don't know. This is why This is why Jamie Harrison has to go. Seems like a nice guy, but man, if you're the head of the DNC and you're seeing that working class people have moved over to Trump and moved over to the Republican Party, you got to do something. You got to do something to bring these people back. And it's not just from a presidential standpoint. It's like the Congress too. The Democrats, you have to start asking the question, who is the Democratic base who can supply them with a lot of votes? It's cool to say that the most loyal people are black women. Fantastic. Love black women. Always dated black women. My mom was a black woman. But black females are not the largest group in America. You just can't depend on black females to save you all the time. You need a larger base, and that larger base are working class people. But if you're not serving the needs of working class people, and they're saying like, no, we're going over here for them. We're going right for a minute because you guys aren't paying attention. What are you going to do to bring them back? So there's this big power vacuum now. The Clinton power vacuum is done. Given that Biden's stepping down and Harris didn't win, the Obama vacuum of the Obama power segment is gone. Even though Obama still probably has people who work for him that's younger that probably will end up running for president down the road. So I don't think it's totally gone because he had a lot of young folks in his administration. But as of now, the Obama part is done. So there's a total new power vacuum that's open in the Democratic Party. Now, it's not going to be Bernie because Bernie's too old, but Bernie's still very vibrant. But it's not going to be Bernie because that's like 2028, so he's not going to be running anytime soon. But if you are a politician, I'm laying the groundwork now of trying to connect to working class people. Now, that doesn't mean, like, if you're like Gavin Newsom, right? I'm sure that Gavin Newsom is going to start working his way through to become the nominee in 2028, right? But if as we watch the past elections, even since Clinton, you might be the guy 4 years prior, but you might not be the guy 2 years later. Bill Clinton popped up out of nowhere. Obama popped up out of nowhere. George W. Bush popped up out of nowhere. Donald Trump popped up out of nowhere. So you might be laying the groundwork, but you might not end up being the nominee. But I'm saying whoever that person's going to be, no matter if they start putting the groundwork now in 2025 or in 2027, 2026, whoever that person's going to be, you got to find ways to connect with working class people. You got to convince that the Democrats are for the working class. Because if not, because you can't play the Republican game. The Dems can't be Republican light. You can't be all the way over with business. And the Republicans are not about the working class either. Like Elon Musk is giddy with Trump, and Elon clearly isn't for the working class. Elon is for, as Bernie was saying, the oligarchs. Elon is about money. So the Republicans, they're pretending they're for the working class, but they're not really for the working class. But they're good of crafting a message that appeal to working class people. Democrats, if they want to be back in power, they're going to have to do it by trying to appeal to working class blue collar people. Now, from a local level, Dems are fine. I think mayors, city council, I think that's usually fine. But as more as we go up, governorships, they gotta do better. Congress, they gotta do better. Because if the Dems stay the way they are and they don't listen to guys like Bernie or the new media on YouTube and things like that, the Dems will continue to lose. And that map, if we keep on moving, it might look like that 1984 map when Ronald Reagan beat Walter Mondale. It was just like all red. It looks like that now. Now, it's always political. It's always a cycle. And most likely the Dems will take back Congress in some form in 2 years. It happens all the time. But moving forward, if they want consistency, they got to do more for the working class. They got to do more for black voters. Latin voters are different because they're different groups within that. So that's a lot more work. But yeah, man, black voters, working class, blue collar workers, you got to do better, man. Listen to Bernie. He's not running, so he's not a threat. But listen to him. He speaks the truth.